Hey, Raindrop. So tonight's episode was cray cray. So of course I had to get my girl Stormi Steele on the podcast. So please welcome me to the newest official main cast member of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Miss Stormi.
Hi.
How you doing, boo?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. You look gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
So let's just get right into it, Miss Stormi. How does it feel to be a part of Love and Marriage Huntsville? Because the thing is this, it's a big show. I mean, it's the #1 show on the network, which is a blessing in itself. But to also be a part of it, does it now feel real to you that you're a part of this amazing show?
It definitely feels real because I always live in the moment. But it's such a huge blessing. It's such a huge opportunity, especially from coming from such a small town like where I'm from. I was never supposed to be able to do even half of the things I've done. So it's really amazing.
Let's talk about that. So explain to everybody exactly where you're from, where you were born and raised, and how you became this woman who not only has a multi-million-dollar business, but honey, is a multi-millionaire in liquid, baby. Yes, Miss Stormi.
So I am from DeKalb, Mississippi. It's very small, population, less than 2,000. I ended up moving to Huntsville in 2012. And yeah, I don't know. See, the last time you did an interview, you was like, she had just moved down here. No, I moved down here in 2012. So I've been to Huntsville. I've been in Huntsville for quite some time, like a decade.
You better clear it up, Stormi.
Yeah, and honestly, when I moved down here, I was like, Courtney, you know what? You're from this city, but I'm gonna make Huntsville my city. And I won't say I made it my city, but I do feel like I made a mark and an impression here in Huntsville. People know me.
Oh, honey, everyone knows you. So let's get right into it. So I had Melody Cherie on this podcast recently, and we were talking about you and how you came into my world. And I said to her, me and Angela, produced on the show, we were familiar with Stormi because we created Bell Collective, and your name kept popping up. But at the time, so Bell Collective started in 2020, right before the pandemic, we were talking about shooting the show. And this was season 1 in Jackson, Mississippi. These boss bells shot a pilot, all that happened. Because I'm like you, I'm big on affirmations. I'm a big prayer person. I'm very spiritual. I'm like, I know this show is going to have legs. And I was already thinking about a season 2. Like, who can I get on season 2? And your name popped up, Cameras Girl Beauty. You were all over the internet, all over social media. I was super obsessed, like, who is this boss Belle? And I was told at the time that you didn't live in Jackson, that you live in another part of Mississippi. So I had no idea you were even in Huntsville since 2012. So talk to me about that. In 2020, were you also in Mississippi too? Were you just living in Alabama sometimes and Mississippi the other times?
Well, shout out to Bell Collective. I have a really good friend on that show, Latrice Rogers. Love her. She's absolutely amazing. We kind of came up together. But
oh, y'all did?
I used to do Tree's hair. When she was whipping them bundles out the truck, I was selling the serum from the salon, honey, and doing weave. Seriously, I love it. So it was it's just such a small world. But no, I haven't lived in Mississippi since 2012 at all. I had a salon there in 2017 and 18. And then in 2019, late 2019, I closed it. I used to drive back and forth. I used to come down there once every other weekend and do hair and maintain my clientele there. But I hadn't lived in Mississippi since 2012.
So did you know that we were interested in you for Bell Collective?
I did because I got the call from Angela.
Okay, so you did get the call. So what was going on? Because I want to help you clear things up, honey, because that's why we have
right. Because it's something to be said once and then turn into something totally different.
I
People
know,
were like, oh,
honey.
she moved there to be on She been praying on such and such. She want to be a friend. I'm like, girl, don't do me, honey. I've been here since 2012 and I was doing some big things, you know what I'm saying, before I knew anybody. So yeah. Let us clear that up.
Okay. So no, we're gonna clear a lot of things up because I would like to receive all of the information and the truth from you. So we contacted you around that time we were shooting Bell Collective. So what happened to where the conversations did not lead to you being on Bell Collective? Do you remember?
So I was so pregnant and I was on bed rest around that time, really low energy. And I got a DM, and I think it was from Angela's assistant. And then she was like, such as, somebody wants to speak with you. I had no idea what it was for. But then along the call, I kind of, knew what it was for because I was being asked questions about Bell Collective. And then I ended up saying, I don't live in Mississippi, though. And she was like, where do you live? And I was like, I live in Huntsville. And Angela, I think I remember Angela saying, like, what happened when you Huntsville? And I was like, I don't know. Does anybody else feel? Yeah, so I had no idea. And then I actually asked me, did I know anybody from the cast already? Or was I familiar with anybody on the show? Did I watch the show? I said yes. And then when she asked me, did I know anybody? I said I didn't know anyone, but it was just so like, I don't know, divine, call it what you want. But my team was already like talking with Mel's team about an ambassadorship. And I was like, well, I don't know her, but I know my team is working with her for an ambassadorship. And Angela was like, well, maybe we'll meet you that way.
Okay. So when you and Mel started to form this friendship, right? How did Love and Marriage Husband come about? Did you mention it to her that you had a desire to be on the show? Did she mention it to you to be on the show? How did that all work out?
I would be lying if I said I knew the exact particulars because like the initial engagement, I wasn't privy to. Like any other big company, you sit around, you get calls. I have a director of public relations, have a marketing team, and everybody was just throwing out ideas about ambassadors that we could work with and what those deliverables would look like while working with, whatever ambassador. I think the deliverables were a part of it was like a product placement cameo situation where I would make my way onto the show for like one episode while doing a photo shoot and saying, hey, this is the CEO of Cammy's Beauty brand, because my team let me know that a part of Mel's story at that time and a part of her life was she was rebuilding from a divorce. So it would look really well to have like the ambassadorship with another big company in Huntsville, and that would lead to X, Y, and Z deliverables. So it wasn't a matter of being on the show. I don't think Mel, I even had a conversation about just being on the show until like that first scene at my warehouse. Mel was like, if I had known you wanted to be on the show, she was like, like we could have been on the show. Like she did say that. And I was like, no, for me, everything is about my brand. Like I care about Cammy's Beauty. I was like, but being on here is a really good experience and I like it. I was like, so yeah, more me, more Canvas, more Love and Marriage Huntsville, and like this kind of what we were. But it was always supposed to be pitched as far as like the product placement.
Gotcha. So just to recap,
so it was never a befriending situation. It was never some underlying thing like somebody fake me my friend, etc. to be on the show. It was never that.
Okay, so just to recap, I got a question for you about that. So to recap, obviously you and Mel formed a business partnership based on Melody being an ambassador for your business, and one of the credentials, right, in order for that to happen was a possible appearance on Love and Marriage Huntsville for the exposure, and that's how you were able to form that conversation about being on Love and Marriage Huntsville, because it was going to be a business. It was a part of the business acumen in order for this partnership to work. So that's right?
Yeah.
Okay. So after that, you are on the show. We fall in love.
Yeah, like it just happened way faster because I'm like, one thing that's like Cammy's Beauty brand photo shoot. Hi, this is CEO turned into like full on male's friend TV show, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, I'm riding with it. Cause once I got into like filming, I was like, I do enjoy the experience. I wouldn't have thought would have. Because another thing too, for me, it's important to know, like, that was kind of like never my whole intention. Courtney is not like, it's still like pulling teeth to get Courtney to say, yeah, I love this experience. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, it is,
So like,
darling.
it's love and marriage Huntsville. You can't be on this type of platform. You're married and not show your husband. And Courtney was not like, he was not doing it. You know what I'm saying? It took like along the way. I was like, well, Courtney, I think this is I'm gonna be filming more, I guess. Like, but I can't do it without you. He could have shut that down at any minute. So it was, if that was the case, I would have known like it would have been a smooth thing going into it because my husband would have been on board. He wasn't on board.
When you saw my interview with Melody, did you feel that she made it seem that you befriended her to get on the show?
I won't say that because she didn't say that. But I feel like there was a lot left up to interpretation.
Do you feel like that's been some of the miscommunication between you and her, and some of the reasons why a lot of the fans may have an opinion about your friendship?
I think that's definitely a huge possibility, you know? So, yeah, yeah. And I feel, and like I said in scene, I feel like the people want us to have a problem. And I stated clearly, like, I don't want that because that's not a thing for me. Like, I don't have that type of energy. I don't do those type of things in life. Like, my focus is literally on like everything that God put in my spirit to pursue. You know, I don't focus or like try to do the extra stuff because I've never had to.
Yeah, no, listen, I will have to agree with you, because one thing that we enjoyed about getting you on the show was the fact that you do fit the brand of Love and Marriage Huntsville. You are a self-made, I mean, you and I both believe in God, so we like to say God made. So you're God made. In addition to that, you are a self-made multi-millionaire. And and this is no shade to others, we all get our money from different people. Some get it from an African. Some get
Wait.
yes, not me, but others get it from hard work and just being able to focus on their brand. You are very inspiring to young girls and to women all across the world. Can you explain to us how you, a Black girl from a small town in Mississippi, was able to not only have a multi-million-dollar business, but to be able to have that income come in as well?
So I ain't gonna lie, like I've told my story a million times. Like I was suicidal in college. I wanted to kill myself. I was actually gonna do it. Um,
Why?
I had spent so many years pursuing something that I was told I should be doing, you know? I went from high school and went to the military directly from high school. Like 9 days, I'm in basic training. And before I could even get out of basic training, my mom already had my college schedule made, like without even knowing like what my dreams were, what my goals were. And I didn't even know. So I automatically got thrust into that path of this is what you do. Like this is what you're supposed to do. And here I am spent all this time. I'm like 27. I'm like 23 credit hours away from graduating. I got a 3.7 GPA. And I'm like, I went to school to major in arts. I was getting a BFA in art, painting, and minoring in photography. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Teach? And I didn't want to teach. Like that wasn't in my spirit. And I was just getting depressed about the unknown and how much time I wasted, to still not know what I'm gonna do. So I was just gonna do it. I was like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And I was like, I didn't know what I was gonna do. In my mind, I was like, I'm gonna take all these pills. I'm not gonna fucking up tomorrow. And then I told Courtney about it, and he actually like took me somewhere to like try to go talk it out. I'm about to cry. I don't want to.
No, it's so Stormy, it's okay. I had no idea this was part of your story. And you were 23 at the time.
And so I just I quit. I told my mom, I'm not going to school. I quit. I'm going to go to hair school and I'm going to just do what I enjoy doing. And they ended up having me in Huntsville. And I came to Huntsville like $800. I had no plan and I figured it out. And every part of my journey, I just figure it out. Like I say, God, whatever you want me to do, that's what I'm gonna do. Like I cannot know what the landscape is gonna look like. I cannot have what I feel like I need. I can be literally running on E and I'll still go forward because like in my spirit, if I'm in flow, whatever's supposed to come to me will come. And that's kind of been the story of my life. So I don't have this magical like Bruce plan. I don't have this magical like thing to say I did X, Y, and Z and I knew I was gonna be successful. I just didn't give up and I became successful. And that's it in a nutshell.
But let me say this to you. I believe tears are a beautiful representation of God speaking to you in your heart, being the voice of his blessing for you. I don't believe tears should be something you should be ashamed of. I cry. And it also shows, Stormi, that this is what I do know about you that I don't think a lot of people know. They will later on this season. We're just getting started, but I know that you are very sensitive. You're
I
very...
cry like the whole season.
No, it's okay. But this is what I love about you. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's relatable. That's why listen. There's a lot of rich women and couples who want to be on Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I'd be like, no, because I know that they don't have the many characteristics that you need. You need to be successful. You need to be smart. You need to be vulnerable. You need to be emotional. You need to be real. You have all of those things. So what you're displaying right now, Stormi, I think is gorgeous. It's beautiful. You are a beautiful woman. You know that, girl. But to hear your story is great. So you may not have a blueprint. Hey, Tisha, you may not have a blueprint, but what did you do? Like, did you create a particular serum that became the golden egg into launching these products that became successful?
Yes, it's so crazy because I made that product in 2014. I used it on myself for like a year. And then I started using it on my clients. And then I had no like intention of like dropping a product. It was my customers, their hair was growing back. It was like giving them crazy results. And they told me, and they was like, listen, I be telling my friends about it. They want to buy it. And I was like, nah, it's just for y'all. Because I wanted like a little proprietary experience within my salon. And I wanted them to book me because like that was my way of how I made my money then. And it was like, listen, you need to put this out here. More people need this. It's working for me. And I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of family who would love to be able to buy this product. And like after so many clients told me that, I just said, you know what? I made me like 100 bottles and I sold them all out in the same night. And then sporadically from 2015 to 2018, I just kind of did it off and on, while I was doing hair. And it got to the point where I was just not happy anymore. I was once again falling down to that, that place I know, like I wasn't created to be in. And then I took a trip to New York. And then between me and you, I was on a balcony and I was and then I was looking at the buildings and I was like, oh shit, somebody made this. I was like, if they can do this, then I know I can do what's in my mind, And I came home, I canceled every appointment I had. I built my website by myself on in front of me in 24 hours. And then I just started, sharing it everywhere on social media. I sit in front of my computer for hours and just measure, if I posted something over here, how many people will come to my site? And I just created a process. And within the first month, I was making $50,000 a month, way more than I was making as a hairstylist. And I just started to scale it up. I started dropping new products. I started teaching myself business. I started understanding everything. And within a year's time, I had turned that into $1 million company. And then the second year, we were it's crazy. The last 3 months of 2019, we did over $3 million in the last 3 months. And then in 2020, we went on to do $20 million in sales. And we've just been on a journey ever since. But, you know, it's been a learning process. And I had a hero product back then, which was a Blossom Serum. And it's so crazy. I was just talking the other day. We now have another new hero product. And I always say, like, God don't let you get the lottery twice. But like now my second hero that literally just became a hero 2 months ago is like my body glaze. So complete pivot from hair, but it's like everybody wants it and it's blowing up the same way the serum did. And I'm really excited about that.
How much you worth, Stormi?
I don't know. I don't know.
Stormi, are you worth 8 figures? You bet. Round of applause. No, listen, I want to cry because I celebrate success. Nothing makes me happier than to see people win, to see people successful. I tell people all the time, I know that God has blessed me with this gift of producing television this is my opinion. I feel like my gift is my job on this earth is to make people's dreams come true. Okay? God gave me this gift of producing television to take people like you, this entire cast, and to provide a platform where they can make money off of that. I want people to win. I tell people all the time, my favorite success story will always be Melody, because she was just this Alabama girl who drove to Atlanta and said, I want to be on TV. And I said, I think you are a star. Let me create something for you. And the rest is history. And the fact that sort of springboarded other people on the show, like, and in my Bell Collective, I feel the same way. Like, I want y'all to win. Listen, a lot of husbands don't like me because they say, you taught my woman her worth, and I wanted her to stay at home. You're teaching her to be a boss, and I wanted her to be a housewife. So I'm saying all that to say, hearing this about you, I want you to celebrate yourself because I am celebrating you. And that's the reason why when you came into our lives on this show, I was like, this girl is the truth, and she's the future of the franchise.
Oh. Thank you.
It is, yeah. No,
when we're filming, Carlos, you have no idea. Like, I love the producers. You guys do an amazing job at that. But I'm always like saying, I want to be like authentic. Like, I want to be myself. Like, I don't want to feel like I have to say the right thing. So I felt like, you know, if I stay in my mind, I normally try to start doing that, trying to be like all politically correct, trying to like answer how I feel like the viewers would want. And then it's like this season, I was just like I ain't got time. Like, my heart, can I just be Stormi? Can I just be me? Can I just be okay? And like now I'm on the phone, like, I don't care. I don't care how it's gonna look. I don't care. I'm out myself. I felt good when I said it, and I'm happy about that. So that's why, like, now I'm not even like really doing a lot of interviews because I want the show to play and I don't want to explain why. Because I feel like I left my why on the screen.
Woo! Girl, I felt that in my spirit. You left your why on the plane. And look, you ain't got to explain enough because this interview would do its job. And if y'all want to know more about Stormi, keep playing this interview and send it to folks so they can play it. So we got that down packed. And before I get into the rest of the season, I would like to honor your husband as well, because from what I understand, and tell me if I'm wrong, your husband is also a part of this business, and he also, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but and tell me if I am saying this, but your husband also helped build this business. Am I correct in saying that?
Oh yeah, I always tell people, because I find it like kind of like disrespectful when people look at a face. Like, I'm the face of the brand for sure, but Courtney, it wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Courtney, because I couldn't build it by myself and I couldn't trust anybody to help me build it. You understand what I'm saying? Because I was building something that I didn't even know I was building. I wanted to do that with somebody I trusted. So like the conversations we used to have back in the day, I had to like convince Courtney to stop doing his thing, to like see the vision for this for our family. I was like, if we both put our energy here, it'll be this. And the moment he stepped in, it changed everything. we were able to scale, we were able to grow because he's Bron. You know what I'm saying? I got some ideas. I'm a little brain. But like all like dealing with people, like communication, like traveling, like Courtney hits the road so much and drives miles for this business, like off no sleep even now, because some things are just a rush. Like people just don't know, like he's behind the scenes, but like I could never do what he does.
Yes, and I want to make sure that the Black man has props, because one thing that I talk about a lot on this platform and on my other platforms is sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes a man who's married to a successful woman who may be the breadwinner in the relationship, he sometimes gets resentful or he feels like I don't get my props. So I wanted to make sure that people knew that you two are really a team and that he is as much a part of your business as you are.
Yeah. Yeah. I think people will see that too, especially this season.
Oh, they will. More to come, but child, there's a scene where Stormi and Courtney talking to their staff. I'm not gonna spoil it, but baby, let's just say it leaves a lot of drama in Stormi's personal life, but we'll get into that later, child. So we're on this new season. The first episode was like insane. The comments were crazy. Welcome to what it's like, Stormi, to be a main cast member on a show and have your own scenes. So in the first episode, we saw that Courtney was reluctant to you getting pregnant again because the first pregnancy that you had with your beautiful son, there's a lot of complications. And as your husband, he is just happy that you're alive and that y'all at least have a baby now to raise, as well. What was going through your mind, because you were so surprised you felt that way and you kept looking at the producers, looking at the cameras like, you feel this way? So were you really caught off guard?
That was my first time like really hearing that from Courtney. And Courtney, it's already the filming, that's new for him. And he's still like, so I'm like, thinking this is going to be a good conversation. So I had to do IVF to have my son. And that was already a thing. Courtney gave me my shots. He did all of that. And I think like the whole time, like we used to always have these conversations about, oh, we're going to bring all of our embryos to life. Like everybody's going to be here. And then when I had Chess, I kind of was not feeling it. I was like, I'm not doing this no more. And I was stuck there. And I never heard Courtney say that. I never heard him say he wasn't. And so I'm like, why you just not telling me this shit like right now? Like, why you right now? No? Like, that's what I'm thinking, like right now. And like, I even see people like, they ain't been had these conversations. Like the conversation definitely changed right now. Like, cause I'm like, we talked about bringing all the embryos to life. I have 4 more left. And like, I knew like at one point I was out of the game, but I was like, when you got out of the game? Cause I'm back in, I'm back in, coach. Like, what are we doing? And that's how I found out. So I was a little like taken aback.
And I'm not going to ask any more questions about that because I want people to watch the rest of the season because it comes up again. So I don't want to give anything away. So shifting gears to your mom. Hey, Miss Bettie, honey.
Yeah. She's here. She's here.
Where is she?
She just walked outside. I just heard the door.
Before we leave, tell Miss Bettie come and say hi to me, child.
I will.
Okay. Let's talk about Miss Bettie. So look, on every reality show, there's always a mama that comes on Miss Stormi, shows up and show out. I mean, from Mama Joyce to Mama D to Miss Wanda, the list goes on. And now we have Miss Bettie. I had no idea your mother was made for TV because, of course, the fans read me too. Carlos hired Stormi because of her mama, and he wanted another Miss Wanda. Let me tell y'all something. We already talked about this. Stormi was already in the game years before I even knew about Miss Bettie, honey. So when Miss Bettie showed up in that scene, I was getting texts from the producer, Stormi, like, oh, Miss Bettie. They said, Los, Miss Bettie is the truth. So when I got the footage, I was like, oh. And to me, Miss Wanda is more overt and not aggressive. Well, some may say aggressive, but she's in your face.
Yeah.
Miss Betty is like chilling, maybe popping a blunt or smoking some Marlboro Light, sipping on some hen dog, and her reads are so smooth that you'd be like, did Miss Betty just read me for film?
Oh, girl, please go upstairs.
Where's Miss Betty? Let her say hi to the people's child.
Just say hey. Put your hand in here.
Miss Betty, say hi to me, honey.
Hi.
Miss Betty.
Hi.
That's okay, Miss Betty. I'll see you soon, boo. Okay.
Oh,
Talk
Lord.
to us about your mother, because I want the world to know your mother was not putting on for the cameras.
No. So I had no idea that my mom was a Love and Marriage fan before I got on Love and Marriage. I was like, yeah, Mom, so, I'm gonna make an appearance on this show. And she's like, oh, I love that show. I'm in all the groups. I was like, what groups? And she was like, all of you want me to see your invite? I'm gonna let you join. I was like, yeah, girl, send me an invite. And so I'm like, you be in here with these women? Like, you in here? I said, you be coming? Yeah, I be coming. I've been coming. I was like, well, you're going to have to stop doing that, especially with me coming on here, at some capacity. I said, come mama, like, everybody not going to like me. And I don't want you, being one of them. And yeah, and it was a struggle she said, I've been in these groups. I've been doing this before you was on the show, and I'm going to keep doing it before you go on the show. And I honestly was able to just talk some rationale in her and say, Mom, just please chill. So she chilled until she thawed, and then it was over with. And it's ongoing. It does not stop. It will not stop. Now, I'm like, can you stop? No. See, it don't stop.
Is Miss Betty still in the Facebook group pages?
Yeah, still commenting to this day. Like, for real. She might have commented today. I'm out of them, Carlos. I don't even look in the groups. I might got one I still looking, but I'm really not in there. So, but she's in there still right now, co-signing.
Oh, okay. So shout out to the Facebook group pages. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all be trying to read me too. It's all good. I take it in. Listen, I am a grown up. It's fun shade. It's all good. I don't take it seriously. Although some of y'all do. It's all good. I like to have fun. And I want to say once again, I appreciate all of the Facebook Love and Marriage Huntsville fan pages. I think I'm in all of them. I may not check it, but I definitely y'all be reading people, child, and I be like, I can't take a read, honey. Not on a Sunday after I watched Sarah Jakes Roberts and got my message.
Yeah, amen.
Amen. So your mother received a lot of comments after the first episode when she displayed her disdain for Melody and saying that she never liked her. She never liked her spirit. So to clear that up, and Mama, you could, I know you want to be on camera, but you could say if you want to scream it, child.
Okay.
Now, knowing that you are a fan of the show, which I appreciate, Mama, was your spirit about Melody based on what you saw on the show, or was it when you met her? Did your feelings change about Melody before or after you met her?
It started from being on the show. Mm-hmm. And then when I first met her, she came to Stormi's house. And before she got here, Stormi and I had a conversation about chess. And I said, chess was spoiled. And Stormi said, no, it wasn't. So Melody and Stormi had went off to another room, and Melody came back in the room where I was, and she had chess. And she said, Miss Betty, you were right. We're going to have to do something with chess, And la. You don't remember that, do you?
I don't.
Yeah, it happened. And I'm like, when she said it, I'm like, why is she telling me this? I don't like anybody to try to side with me. when I know you're not meaning what you're saying. Just because I'm Stormi's mother, don't do that. You try to play me stupid, don't do that.
Believe that shit. Like, she really believe that. Like, I don't see the problem. Why did that bother you?
Don't do that.
Don't
Because,
do that.
you know, the same, because she came in there just to be in agreement with me. Working so long with different attitudes and personalities, you pick up reads on people.
Ooh.
I haven't worked in a classroom with kids for 33 years, not knowing each individual personality and personality types. So I picked up on it.
So I just be disagreeing with you. Just
That's what you do.
Oh,
you mad if somebody agree?
okay. Well, Miss Betty, thank you for clearing that up. I think I get what you said. I love it. Miss Betty said, I said what I said, and I feel how I feel, and my mind ain't changing, child. Okay. Thank you, Miss Betty. I love you.
Love you too. You're welcome.
You don't see how she's sitting on these stills like a gangster lean.
I told you.
Look, hold on. No, she ran off. She gone.
Miss Betty like these. So.
She know how she was sitting on the steps. Thank you. Like,
Miss Betty got the gangster lean. I think she be throwing up gang signs.
She listens to rap music. And listen, no, call us some funny shit. And she ever goddamn be talking to you and just bust out the blue with a damn rap verse, you be like, damn, like, wow, what fucking rap song you be saying? You hear me? She ignored me, child. She ignored me.
I love this. I love this so much, Stormi. So that first episode, obviously, there was a lot of comments, Stormi. A lot. And a lot were directed at you. You, your mama, the whole situation in terms of your mama's opinion. What would you like to clear up in terms of how people may have interpreted that? Is there anything you want to clear up? Because I know that you feel very strongly that when it comes to your mother, that's your mom. She has her own opinion. And just because your mother has an opinion doesn't mean you share the same opinion. So is there anything you want to address in regards to that?
So I feel like it's kind of, I've already said it, it's so obvious. Like my whole life, like I always feel like my mama has been very opinionated. I don't let her opinions like, guide me. Just because I don't agree. I don't agree like a lot of the time. And I always like to figure it out for myself. Sometimes she be right. Sometimes, she wrong. She didn't like Courtney. We'll get into that. You'll see, I hope. But she was wrong. So it's like, I don't take that, the way maybe somebody else would. I just don't. Me and my mom, we go back and forth all day. As far as like the social media, child, I mean, I don't think she should have posted that, but it's like she don't care. Like she posted it, she stand beside it, she ain't gonna take it down, and she not gonna, feel no different. I can't get her to change that. Ain't really nothing I want to clear up. I feel like me and Mel's interaction on camera during the first half, we just are where we are. I don't think it was mad. It wasn't a mean scene. It wasn't like we weren't arguing. It was none of that. So I hate that people feel so strongly about what they saw when that was very much nothing. It was just like two people having a conversation. I think it was a very respectful conversation. I pulled her off to the side. I don't want to have talks with my friend in amongst the group. I just don't like doing that. I wanted to just pull her to the side and just say, hey, that's what's going on. And I don't know why people take it so hard, but they do. But I still don't know why.
No, the love it. I said this once, and I'll say it again. And your mama's one of them because she's in the Facebook group fan pages. But when it comes to this show, the fans have strong opinions. They have listen, I'm not even a cast member on the show, Stormi. So when I say to you, I don't escape shade from the fans. They'll say, you see, right?
Yeah, because I paid you $200,000 to be on this show, Carlos.
What? Who said that?
That's what they say. Yes. Yeah, I paid you. $200,000. I'm like, damn, we got these numbers. Like, why are you even saying that? Like, this is, yeah.
If Stormi would have paid me $200,000, this closet would be bigger than what it is now. Like, first of all, I'm not accepting bribes. I never, wait, I never heard that. People are saying you paid me $200,000 to get on the show.
Yes. The YouTube streets are talking, and that's what they're saying. Carlos, you didn't know that?
I just said to you, I don't go with the, listen, I stopped years ago. I was like, because, and I want to talk to you about this. Let me clear this up. Stormi never paid me any money to get on the show. Like,
right.
Y'all heard my conversation with Melody 2 weeks ago. She's clearing up things now. I don't charge people to get on the show. Like, that's insane to me. If that's the case, Destiny, where's my money?
Oh, I like Destiny.
I like Destiny to the fall, but I love Destiny. I'm just saying, if that's the case, Destiny, where's my money? Sadaric, where's my money? Miss Bettie, Miss Wanda, Dr. Francis, child, Chris Fletcher, and Nell. I run my money, honey. If I'm charging folks to make an appearance on the show, then, child, I will be quitting YouTube now and spending that money on a private jet. Anyway.
The lies are obnoxious. Like, it is a lot. And that kind of was a lot of it to do with, like, you know, certain conversations. You know, even with me saying, I feel like people want us to have a problem. Like, let's not do that. I don't want that.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you. I thought the conversation between you and Mel was so respectful. I looked at it like two friends having a discussion based on misunderstanding and interpretation, right? Because I understand where you're coming from, the sense of, this is how I feel based on me reaching out, not knowing you changed your phone number. And she's saying, well, you should have DM'd me. And you're like, if you're my friend, I don't think I should DM you. And one thing, go ahead.
And not even that too, like, the first time Mel changed her number, she gave it to me. So I would have thought it would have been like the same thing, you know? And then Kiki had already said in interviews that she had her number. So it's kind of like, you know, this was before January. This was like, what, you know, between October, September, October, December timeframe. Like, even Kimmy didn't, like, that was before this year. So I didn't know. Like, I just knew, like, what the data that I had as far as what had happened before. So I was speaking from that perspective. You know, I wasn't speaking from the perspective of, you know, like, this is weird, but it's weird that if you did change it, you gave it to me last time and it happened this time. And then I'm one of the people, like, if you don't fuck with me, tell me. I'm fine with that. Like, I really am. Just say that to me. Like, and I think I asked enough times and I never got that answer. You know what I'm saying? So I still wouldn't know, you know? I just kind of go off, like, data, things that happened prior that's not happening now. Like, what do you want me to do with that?
Where do things stand now between you and Melody?
We're just, you know, where we were.
Do you have her new phone number?
She sent it to me in DM, but I have not utilized that number. I don't think I will now.
Why not?
I just feel like, as far as, like, I'm learning things that I didn't know when we were filming. I think, you know, you've seen the season. I feel like we don't get to a bad place. And I feel like, you know, since episode 1 has aired, I feel like we could be maybe more off than I thought from the last scene.
Is there something that was said on camera that made you feel that way?
Was it? No, not on camera, not with the show, no. More so in interviews, like interviews.
My interview?
I can't remember if it was your interview, but it was other interviews for sure. I remember in one interview, it was alluded to, like, you know, I went to, what's his name? Martell and Sheree's party, but that was after Kimmy's event, you know? At Kimmy's event, it was kind of clear, like, we're not that, you know? Especially with the DM comments. So, like, why would that be a weird thing? And then Martell invited Courtney. Courtney and Martell have a whole relationship that has nothing to do with me. Courtney's my husband. He goes somewhere we go.
Did she say that she had a problem with you attending Martell's event with Sheree?
well, anybody connected to Martell. And, you know, it was just kind of like an insinuation of that's a problem, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that wasn't on my interview.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
So I didn't know that because we had talked about that before, you know? And it wasn't said like that. So I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I'm lost.
Do you feel that way in terms of, and we'll move on to tonight's episode, but do you feel that you're lost in terms of where things went wrong between you and her? Because from what I've seen, I enjoyed seeing y'all together.
I'm not lost anymore. I enjoy loving Mayor Huntsville. Like everybody on the cast is so amazing to me. I think you've kind of noticed it, even if like we have banter, like we always kind of come back somehow, some way, and it's just a wonderful experience.
I love you.
The interview voice, honey. Yes.
You better give me a good old PR answer. You're like, I have a great experience. I love this show, Carlton. Thank you so much for creating it. And God is good all the time, and all the time God is good.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So moving on, because I don't want to give. Obviously, I know what happens for the rest of the season, but we're not gonna give that away today. Okay. Right. So you're a smart girl. Speaking of the other cast members, tonight's episode, Tisha throws a spa event, and I want to ask you about Tiffany, because I wonder if you feel the same way about Tiffany that I do. I feel like watching you around Tiffany, you find her shockingly hilarious, because it's sort of like, I can't believe you just be saying these things. And I feel like you'd be like, is that true, Stormi?
Like to me, like I love Tiffany, but Tiffany almost give me like oxymoron vibes, right? You're this, but you're that. I'm like, you know, on one hand, like you're a Mennonite, next hand, you like a stripper bitch. Like, who you gonna be, bitch? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, who the fuck are you? Go ahead, girl. Yes.
You said Tiffany gives you you said oxymoron vibes, right?
Yes.
Is it because you just don't know what you're going to get each day?
Right. Like you can get like this uptight, like this tucked in, then you can get like, yeah, girl, a little bit me over, girl, and my titties are leaking, bitch. And I'm like, bitch, what? Like, don't tell nobody else that. You should have told me. Then you know, then next time they're all now included. Like, okay. Oh Lord.
There's many sides to Tiffany, I will agree. And that's why I literally find her music. So I'm like, I don't know what's gonna come out your mouth, Tiffany, but I'm always here for it. So we saw that in tonight, there was this interesting dialogue between Kiki and Tiffany, because Tiffany felt like Kiki got on Love and Marriage Huntsville to spite her cousin Tisha. And they just had this very intense conversation about it. When you were in that spa room, whose side were you on in the sense of where it made sense?
Oh, I really feel like Kiki was like taking. I think Kiki didn't like how people was perceiving it, and the fact that we were close to it and we were saying it. I think it was just too much, you know. So I kind of resonated with Tiffany because I had said something of the same thing, you know, last season. So I was like, I get why you would say that. Most people like, well, if you do your family like this, then I just because you never know. Like if that y'all supposed to be close, and if y'all ain't close, then I know we ain't close, and I don't want to get close, you know. So I can understand like Tiffany where she was coming from, but then like once I heard Kiki, I was kind of like, okay, girl, like I get it.
Well, what we
Let me
don't
it's
see,
over here.
what we don't see tonight that we'll see next week is even you get into it with the girls, honey, at spa night. Now, tease us a little bit about what's to come because it starts to get between you and Kiki based on Mel's Christmas party from last season.
See, I feel like so Kiki was like very adamant, like, you know, you talking about me, but you was saying stuff. And I'm like, Tisha ain't my cousin. Like, I did not know Tisha. Like, I can say whatever I want to say. And if you felt the way, why you ain't tell me to shut the fuck up? Like, that's why I was like, why you ain't tell me to shut the fuck up? Because I would have told me to shut the fuck up. If you talking, and that was my whole point. Like, if I'm saying shit and you ain't correcting me, bitch, it's in that sense, you're doing your cousin dirt. Because I'm not gonna let nobody do my cousin like that. I'm like, girl, don't be talking about my cousin, bitch. You're not my cousin. But she didn't do that. So I was like, you can't be mad at me for what I may or may not have said when you said more than enough.
So y'all gonna see that next week. It gets, baby, it's one of my favorite scenes because I like it, and I think you're this way too. I like fun, shade, and drama you can laugh at. Like, I think at the end of the day, right? You can leave a scene and say, we got into it, but it's funny. And I'm not gonna spoil anything. What I will say is next week, Mel attempts to leave because she disagrees with the dialogue. And Mel, who is hoarse, says this speech. And they all listen, and then Stormi's like, no, I think we're good. We got it. I like arguing. We're good.
Catch you on the flip side.
I remember laughing at that hysterically, like, no, we good. We're getting things addressed, actually. We're good. But no, so that's next week. But tonight's episode was just a taste of that. But Stormi, tell them what's to come for the rest of the season because we're diving into your family stuff. Miss Bettie and her sister get into it, honey. So I want y'all to know Miss Bettie ain't doing this for the cameras because Miss Bettie goes at it with her own family member. But we got that coming up. But explain to them that you're going to see a side of Stormi that I was even gagging when all this was happening.
So like coming up, I just feel like with me, you're gonna get to see a lot of family, a lot of business, a lot of real dynamics and stuff that, you know, may be a little out there, especially with the situation with my family. Cause like with mom and sister, you kind of like, what the fuck? Even I'm like that in real life, like with them every day. So I'm like, So I just feel like people are gonna get to see a lot. I hope they get to see that I am like multifaceted. I can laugh, I can cry, I can be mad, but immediately I can always come right back. I'm not one of those people who hold grudges. I'm not one of those people who can't move on. And honestly, like I come from a world where we talk about it. Even if talking is yelling and cursing, you heard what I said, I heard what you said. Now I got enough information to move accordingly. And so I feel like there'll be a lot of that with me this season, as well as me, like, you know, building Canvas 2.0, like bigger, better, like everything, and taking whatever consequences that came with that.
Amen to that. And before I let you go, I want to say this to you. I want to thank you for joining the show. You are definitely what was needed this season. You're bringing something super fresh, super authentic. And one thing that I will agree with you on is the fact that you are being yourself. You're not in your own head. You're not second guessing yourself. You are like, this is who I am. Stormi asks all the time, can I cuss? I'm like, we'll bleep it, girl. Just be yourself, child. Be yourself, honey. She can cuss, child. But you are bringing relatability to this season. And we are going to show more of your businesses because I really am inspired by what you built. A lot of people are inspired by what you built. In addition to that, the relatability of your fertility struggle, you now talking about at one point being suicidal. Like, these are all the things in terms of why I created the show, was to lend voices of people like you that can truly help the next woman, the next man, or, you know, the next person. So I just want to say thank you for joining the show. I know it ain't easy. It ain't easy. It definitely ain't easy, but you make it look easy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And thank you for just being a brilliant mind and just being a great person.
Oh, no, thank you, babe. So, again, before I let you go, one more thing. So, everybody has their fan base, and their fan base has a nickname, okay? Melody has the millimeters. Tisha said hers is called the T Squad. Mine are called the Raindrops, as you can see here. So, Stormi, what name are we going to give your fan base?
Oh my God. Does it have to go with Storm?
It can be whatever you want.
What? Why are you listening? She's one of Canvas girls. No, I think I want to call people the Beauties.
The Beauties? Okay, the Beauties.
Yeah. Would you agree? Is that a good one?
I was going to call them. Okay, your last name is Steele, right?
Yeah.
Steele.
Yeah.
I was going to call them the Scene Stealers. Because SCENE, Scene Stealers.
I like Scene Stealers.
When you
that is some dope ass. I take it. I receive it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the vision. She sees it. Yes. I like the Scene Stealers. Yeah.
Because baby, Stormi was still a scene, honey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all see this below. Okay, Stormi fans, y'all see it below. I'm spelling it for y'all. Hashtag Scene Stealers. SCENE STEELERS, because her name is Steele, spelled that way. So Stormi fan base are the Scene Stealers. Okay, so do you like it, Stormi?
I love it. It's fire.
Okay.
Yeah, good shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's your movement in your I shaded you, in your multi-million-dollar business. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, baby. And don't y'all forget, follow Stormi. Stormi, tell them where they can follow you, support your business, buy your products, and all that stuff.
So Instagram, Canvas Girl Beauty, Facebook, Stormi Steele, and my website is www.canvasbeautybrand.com.
And is all of your products sold on your website, or are you also in stores too?
So you get anything from the website, and we also have a limited edition of SKUs in retailers such as Walmart, Target, Sally's, CVS, Walgreens, local beauty supply store, and a plethora of other places. But if you want the new hero, which is the body glaze, it's on the website.
I'm proud of you, sister. Always know that. Always know that. All right, y'all give it up for Stormi Steele and her Scene Stealers.